Good day, everyone. All rise and silence. Is hereby ordered. The court is now in session with Honorable Judge Riasel Supiasas presiding.
Thank you. Please be seated. I'll call formally the case of People of the Philippines versus Charlene Pañares, criminal case number 001-2021 for homicide and illegal possession of regulated drug under Republic Act 9165 Section 11. This is a criminal case alleging that on November 27, 2021, is there a plea bargaining and amicable settlement?
None, Your Honor.
None, Your Honor.
Appearances of the prosecution?
Prosecutor Landy Naron for the people.
Appearances of the defense?
Attorney Mary Jane, the Defense Counsel.
The prosecutor may proceed with its opening statement.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the opening statement, it is my duty to tell you what the evidence will be. We intend to prove that Charlene Pañares is guilty of the crime she committed. The victim, Leah Castrodes, and the suspect was best friends. They went to the same school from elementary up to college and employed in the same workforce. They were each other's half. Everything seemed going well for both of them. That is, until Leah got her promotion, which made Charlene furious, thinking she deserved it more. On the 27th day of November, the suspect got her chance to drug the victim as they were having a party in celebration to her promotion in Tagbilaran Club. She then put propofol in her friend's glass. It's a drug that one can only get with a prescription and which he got from her brother who has a disorder. She then took her home to her apartment unconscious to perform the crime cleanly. Just the taking of someone else's prescription is illegal possession of a drug. But the serious charge against the defendant, which we also intend to prove, is homicide under the Article 249 of the Revised Penal Code. Thank you for your attention.
Defense counsel for Charlene Pañares, you may proceed with your opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. First and foremost, the prosecution must prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The victim have been consulting her doctor for the past months as she was suffering from anxiety due to stress at work and problems with her boyfriend. On the 9th of the November 27, everyone had their own world, dancing and drinking their hearts out that no one noticed what time exactly did Leah Castrodes and Charlene Pañares go home. They cannot even prove whether they went home together or separately. My client, Leah Castrodes, went home around 1 in the morning. Later that morning, she fetched her friend in her apartment, as she usually do, and was just as shocked to see her friend hanging with no life. The accusation was all groundless, Your Honor. Thus, we pledge not guilty. Charlene Pañares should be acquitted of this crime.
The prosecution may call its first witness. Are you ready?
Yes, we're ready, Your Honor.
May we ask Miss Christian Cotara to stand in the witness stand, please? Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your personal circumstances.
I am Christian Cotara, 25 years old, single, and a resident of Barangay Tanghaligi, Talibon, Bohol.
Your Honor, we offer the testimony of Ms. Krisha Ann Katara to prove that the accused killed the victim.
You may proceed.
Ms. Katara, how are you related with Ms. Castrodes and Ms. Pañares? What makes you relevant to this case?
The victim, Leah Castrodes, was my cousin. We three basically work under the same company.
On the night of November 27th, where were you, ma'am?
As I have said earlier, we work under the same company, so I was with them in Tagbilaran Club that said night.
Okay, on that said date mentioned, was there any other suspectable events that occurred?
It was dark and loud. I could hardly hear people talking, nor able to recognize much of their faces. But there is prosecutor.
Please elaborate, witness.
That night, Pañares was not in the mood for anything, while my cousin was feeling over the moon. She only and I had 2 shots of tequila as we both have low tolerance in alcohol. The two never talked for about a week that time. However, Pañares' suspicion, though the lights from the club was blinding, I saw her taking a drug in a small bottle of my cousin.
So how did you know that it was a drug?
Because Charlene also offered the drug to me, knowing I will accompany my cousin home. After taking it, I lost consciousness and was brought home by my friends.
Witness, why do you think she killed your cousin? It was not a suicide.
Be suicidal. She was so happy she finally got her dream car. Her love life may not be on the best footing, but she was doing well.
Motive is very important in a murder case. Did the two have previous serious arguments?
There were prosecutors.
Where? So there are more.
The two did most of the things together, but Leia was the town's favorite. We sometimes joke Pañares as Leia's chaperone, which definitely will turn her into the best that she is. When Leia got the promotion, Pañares many times backstabbed her and even joked that the world is better off without her.
Wait, let me clarify. The suspect joke, the world is better off without her. Am I correct?
Yes, that is prosecutor. About 2 years ago, Pañares' longtime boyfriend ditched her and dated Leia. When Pañares found out, she caused scene in the office pulling Leia's hair and even smacked her with a DS nameplate.
Objection, Your Honor. The statement contains speculation and was irrelevant to this case.
Overruled. Please proceed, prosecutor.
Do you remember what time did Miss Charlene left the club?
He passed around 12, so I did not know. My workmates did notice his absence around 1.
No further question.
You may step down now. Any cross-examination, defense counsel?
I will cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. May I proceed?
You may.
Witness, are you aware of the gravity of the choice you've made? Under the new law, persons who knowingly make untruthful statements or false testimonies shall be meted with a penalty of prison mayor in its minimum period to its medium period. The court can use it against you. Are you aware?
Objection, Your Honor. The defense counsel is threatening the witness.
Sustained. Defense counsel, do not threaten the witness.
My apologies, Your Honor. I will change the question. Witness, earlier you have said these words. It was dark and loud. I could hardly hear people talking nor able to recognize much of their faces. Then you added, the light from the club is blinding, am I right?
Yes, attorney.
You have also admitted about your low tolerance in alcohol. On the night of November 27, you took how many shots of tequila?
2 shots.
Your Honor, the witness key claims is that she saw Pañares drag her cousin on her. However, we must understand the circumstances that it was dark and loud. She even said she could barely recognize faces, yet she may make hasty assumption that Pañares took a small bottle out from her bag. Most of all, the witness admitted her low tolerance for alcohol, and that night she also admitted she had 2 shots of tequila. Your Honor, this is enough to discredit the witness. We cannot trust her statement.
I remembered it well. I was still sober. She put a drug.
Then do you remember at least what the bottle you presume drug was like?
Well, that was dark. I fell off after drinking.
Just answer yes or no, witness. Do you remember it well, yes or no?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Prosecution, you may call your second witness.
Your Honor, I call to the stand Maria Christine Oclarit from the Forensic Science Team.
Please raise your right hand. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
State your personal circumstances.
I am Maria Cristina Claret, 31, married a resident of Tagbilaran City, Bohol Province.
So, Ms. Christine Oclarit, you facilitated the autopsy, evidence analysis, and DNA testing.
I am a member of the team that facilitated the autopsy, evidence, and DNA testing prosecutor.
Okay, so what was the cause of Ms. Leia Estrada's death?
Compression of the carotid arteries or jugular veins causing cerebral ischemia.
So could it be a suicide?
There is a low chance that it is suicide. Strangulation is asphyxia by closure of the blood vessels and or air passages in the neck due to external pressure. Hanging is the suspension, complete or incomplete, of a person's body with compression due to the body's own weight. It is a result of strangulation without suspension using some form of cord-like object. Aside from bruises from her neck, there were also bruises from her legs and stomach. She was tortured before strangled, and that's the findings.
You are saying that she was already dead beforehand just to make it appear that it was a suicide.
Most likely, prosecutor, there were no more logical way to explain it.
What else did your examination disclose?
We also find out that at the time of her death, she had prescription medication in her blood propofol, non-barbiturate sedative, used in hospital settings by trained anesthetists for the induction, maintenance of general anesthesia, and sedation of ventilated adults receiving intensive care for a period of up to 72 hours.
Did you find how the propofol came into possession with the defendant?
Found out that the defendant's brother has a disorder and was prescribed with their family doctor. There is a logical explanation except that the defendant took and it is used apart from its intended use. When one is under propofol, he'll eventually lose consciousness and will feel numb.
What about the evidence analysis?
When our team did the evidence analysis. After we got the search warrant, we recovered the same treatment from Miss Charlene Panyari's room. Her DNA also matched that of the guard we found in the crime scene. She left her fingerprints in the crime scene and so with the roof. Basically, she left many fingerprints everywhere in the crime scene.
We have no further questions and we have no further witnesses, Your Honor. So at this time, the prosecution rests its case.
Thank you. First, does the defense counsel like to cross-examine?
No, Your Honor.
The defense counsel may call its first witness.
We call Shane Buntag to the witness stand.
May we ask Miss Shane Buntag to stand in the witness stand, please? Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
State your personal circumstances.
I am Shane Buntag, 30 years old, married, currently presiding at Barangay Dangay, Albuquerque, Bohol. I am one of the workmates who's with them on the night of November 27th.
Witness, are you close with the two?
We are not close as they are, but we're pretty in talking terms. We had lunch together, chit-chats, just a normal workmate relationship.
When the two started not talking to each other, have they displayed aggressive behavior towards each other?
No, attorney. They were just simply ignoring each other. No pulling of hairs at first fight or any sorts. Just cold shoulder. The two were quite prim and proper. It is unlikely of them to be aggressive. They may have misunderstandings, but they were not aggressive.
Would you tell us your version of what happened during that night?
I just sit adjacent table to where Miss Leia and her best friend Charlene were. It's true that they have never talked for quite some time, but that night, it seems that there must be a change of heart between the two. They were talking casually like they have restored their friendship they once lost.
Then do you remember what time Miss Leia went home and who was with her?
As far as my memory is concerned, Leia passed out around 12 midnight and we accompanied her home.
Then, was Charlene Pañares with you?
No, attorney. She stayed in the club. She was not with us. We got Leia home about 12:30 and we left and went back to the club. We were just as shocked to hear later that morning that she was dead.
All right. When you went back in, was Charlene still in the club?
Yes, she was still there in her table and was alone. She seemed into something deep, so we didn't bother to talk to her and we just continued partying.
Okay. The defendant was still in the club. She was not with the victim. No further questions, Your Honor.
Prosecution, would you like to cross-examine?
I will not, Your Honor.
Okay, the defense counsel may call its defendant.
We call Charlene Pañares to the stand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Miss Pañares, You know, as a person charged with a crime, you do not have to take the stand and testify.
I have already discussed with my attorney, and I do take the stand.
Very well then. You may proceed, counsel.
Can you tell me about the night of November 27, 2021?
That night was the celebration of my best friend promotions. Although I was really not happy about it all, but I went with the team and celebrate. Leah was all happy outside, but inside she was suffering. Karma has it, maybe. My ex-boyfriend who came to happen as her boyfriend were in a good terms that time. She said to me that she was suffering an insomnia and asked me if there's would anything I could help her. My brother who had disorder had been taking propofol. I told her about the medicine. I took it out, but I didn't offer her the medicine. She took it secretly. She passed out later on, and I didn't bother to approach her. I had talked with other friends and went home around 1. Early in the morning, I found out that my phone was missing. So I went to Maria's house and confirmed if she had it. There, I found her dead and hanging.
You have left many fingerprints in the crime scene. Then what's your take on that?
Well, when I went there, I would think I didn't know what to do. At first, I want to take her down and to search for a tool that can help me. I found a garrote and I made use of it. I didn't know that touching her and the weapon was this serious. I should have known better.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Prosecution, you may inquire.
Defendant, you claim that you didn't give the victim the medicine. But why did you bring propofol on that night of celebration in the first place? You brought it intentionally.
I didn't. I didn't know. I was so careless, maybe.
You're stuttering, defendant. Then how would you explain the glass you offered to Miss Katara?
Well, I didn't have any idea, prosecutor. She must be lying. I didn't offer her any glass. Why would I? Even despite her existence, she was always smoke me. She was definitely lying.
She's not defendant. She also have her blood checked and was found out that she has the medicine in her blood tested.
Objection, Your Honor. This wasn't included in the affidavit that witness and her blood tested.
It was included in the affidavit. It is in the information last paragraph. Do you withdraw your objection?
I withdraw, Your Honor.
Defendant, you stick to your claim that you went there early to check if your phone was with the victim. Am I correct?
Yes, prosecutor.
Then, how is that so when in your first statement to the primary investigation that you went there early to fetch her, you have never mentioned about the phone? What is the meaning of this inconsistency?
Well, I was still that shocked. Everything has happened on the first time, and I was so nervous that I left it out. I was there both to fix her and ask my phone.
But defendant, again, office hours starts in your company at 8 a.m. in the morning. Is 6 a.m. a bit too early, knowing that the office was not that far from her apartment?
Well, maybe I wanted to have coffee with her. Common time is irrelevant. I was just wanted to see her. What's the deal? I didn't offer her the meds and I didn't kill her.
You are changing your statements, defendant. You need to be at least consistent. You are giving us really massive doubts. Another thing, when the forensic team was doing the investigation, the weapon of the crime, the roach, was found in the trash bin and it was outside the apartment. How was it that you said earlier you found it inside and used it to take her down?
What? I didn't know, but I certainly found it there. I am not lying. I am wrong. I didn't do anything.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Very well. Defense counsel, will there be any witness?
We will not be presenting any further witness, Your Honor. The defense rests its case.
Thank you, everyone. We will now proceed with a closing statement. The prosecution may present their final argument.
What the opposing counsel is trying to imply was not in evidence, as it contradicts the Kotara's statement on the witness stand. Your Honor, we have proved the motive. The defendant opportunity to strike. It is unlawful in the state of the Philippines to possess and distribute and inconsistent. She obviously is lying. Even if we cannot make sense of the chaos that the opposing counsel is trying to tell you, the evidence we have here on this case, the statement of the forensic science team, her fingerprint was on it, her footprint was on the crime scene. There was even blood spills on her palm, even explained that. Your Honor, because of an act of jealousy, a parent loses their daughter. Friends grieve. Grief cannot add to this chaos. Therefore, we implore you to find the case of Charlene Panares be found guilty. Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, we shall hear from Ms. Maryjoy Ende, Ms. Panares' counsel.
Your Honor, the witness make a hasty assumption that defendant first drugged the victim and then killed her. Your Honor, never forget that it was a late, dark, the light from the club was blinding, and the witness, who had low tolerance in alcohol, had a taste of tequila, and so it was reasonable to say that she was drunk and tipsy. She was hustling things up. She cannot even prove, leaving no room for doubts, that Panares did offer her a glass mixed with the drug. The defendant celebrated her friend's promotion with the team and had no intention to kill. Charlene Panares, whose only crime is caring for her best friend, decided, despite of wars that going on between them, to fetch her early in the morning, a gesture that the defendant has slowly forgiving her friend. She saw her friend hanging with no life. It shocked her and made chaos to the crime scene in wanting to take her friend down. She was her best friend for so long and time. Why would she kill her? Jealousy over the promotion? Jealousy over love life? That was petty reasons and accusations that couldn't compete to decades of memories they had shared together. We stick to our claim that this is a suicidal case and not homicide. The defendant is innocent and not guilty from any of the illegal charges against her. Thank you for your attention.
All right. The judge has reached a verdict.
Based on the totality of the evidence, the court has found the defendant, Charlene Panares, guilty. The decision is based upon the revised Penal Code Article 249, homicide. The defendant successfully killed the victim without any justifying circumstance. The victim was of legal age, and so in accordance to law, the defendant must be punished by reclusion temporal. However, the defendant is not guilty on possession of or use of regulated drugs of the revised Penal Code Section 11. As the prosecution will be the witness, statement failure to prove the alleged crime beyond reasonable doubt. Thank you. The court is adjourned.